The film opens with the floating body of a young woman in the ocean, suggesting either an accident or some other cause of death. The scene then shifts to a few days prior, when a woman named Beth catches a taxi ride from Zane, a driver sent by her friend Kate. The friends are at their 2-weekend getaway in Croatia, and Beth is visiting the country for the first time. After dropping her off, Zane kindly hands her his card in case she needs assistance during her stay. Later, Kate warmly welcomes Beth and takes her to their deluxe Airbnb, which she booked using her ex-husband Jay's credit card without his knowledge. Grateful for Kate's efforts in organizing their trip, Beth presents her with a special necklace, adorned with black onyx stones. As they share a heartfelt hug, we see Kate's smile fading as if she is hiding something. Later in the evening, while getting ready for dinner, Beth has a video call with her husband, Rob, and daughter, Aster. Kate then hands Beth her first glass of alcohol and asks Rob how things are going. Rob says everything is fine and tells the girls to have a fun night before ending the video call. As they make their way outside, they come across Sebastian, the peculiar owner of the Airbnb, who greets Beth warmly and extends his wishes for a comfortable stay. Over dinner, Kate orders the most expensive dishes on purpose to drain Jay of all his money. Here it is revealed that Beth and Rob's marriage is going through a challenging phase, lacking the excitement it once had. Kate suggests Beth should consider getting a divorce, but Beth remains hopeful they can work things out. Moments later, while Kate is engrossed in a phone call, scolding the caller to leave her alone, Beth receives news from the waiter that their card has been declined. When Kate returns to the table, she reveals that Jay was on the call, and he has learned that she was using his money. Without wasting time, the friends settle the bill using cash and proceed to the club, traveling in Zane's taxi. During this time, Beth discovers Zane's background as a Syrian who fled his war-torn country, while Beth is an American living in London. Inside the club, Kate strikes up a conversation with two men, intending to invite them back to her Airbnb. Despite Kate's intentions, Beth, being married, decides against spending the night with one of the men. However, Kate persistently urges her to reconsider. As the night progresses, the men offer them drinks, and the next thing Beth knows, she wakes up the following morning in her bed with only fragmented memories of the previous night. To Beth's horror, her friend is nowhere to be found in the house. She notices Kate's dress on the bench and the jacuzzi still running, heightening her concern. The discovery of broken glass and blood on the floor intensifies Beth's unease, signaling something is amiss. Beth spends the entire morning attempting to reach Kate via phone, to no avail, so she vents her concerns to Rob. The husband says Kate is probably out on her own and asks if they had an argument. Kate says they didn't, although her memories are fuzzy about it. Beth continues her search by questioning the owner Sebastian about Kate's whereabouts. The situation takes a darker turn for Beth when Sebastian demands additional money for the two male guests who had stayed the night. Fearing that these men might be involved, Beth heads straight to the police station. There, she encounters Officer Pavic, who not only fails to offer assistance, but also mocks her, suggesting that the drunk Kate might have abandoned her for other men. However, a more helpful officer named Kovac enters the room and begins questioning Beth upon seeing her distress. Despite Kovac's willingness to help, Pavic insists on handling the case alone. Since it hasn't been 24 hours since Kate's disappearance, Beth is unable to file an official missing persons report, leaving her with no option but to take matters into her own hands. After leaving the police station, the woman decides to contact Zane and inquire about the club. Learning of Kate's disappearance, Zane promptly takes Beth to the club, allowing her to conduct her investigation. When the bartender denies any knowledge of the men or even Beth's presence the previous night, Zane confronts the bartender, who eventually reveals that the men in question are Matteo and Luca, escorts who frequent the club and entertain tourists. Here, Beth guesses Kate must have hired them because she kept insisting Beth needed to get out of her rut. When Beth calls Rob again in the evening, he tells her that Kate ditching her to hang out with guys is just like her, so she shouldn't worry. Because Kate hasn't responded to any messages, Beth is still convinced that something happened to her, so she cancels her flight for the following day, determined to locate her friend rather than a band.